I'm talking about 2003, and then what I want to share with you now is what happened to us next. But before I do that, I want Kay to read something to you, and then I'll follow up on that.
Rules of misdirection and deception. The first rule is to direct their minds towards issues of your choice and away from your key moves and strategies, from the things you need to get away with doing. Hide one movement with another. Use a large dramatic movement to draw their attention. Use it to cover other movements on which there is too much heat, or which are not executed well due to your lack of skill and ability, or due to difficulties encountered but which you still desire to accomplish. Keep them occupied with your interpretation of events. Repeat this claim incessantly and emphatically. Number 4, make them afraid. Do something to maintain a general sense of fear and dread. Number 5, use broad sweeping generalizations in your declarations. Number 6, conceal the crucial information. Secrecy is good. The art of ruling requires maintenance of secrecy. Restrict access to information for security purposes. Now you can make whatever claims you like, since it's always possible that you have information unknown to others, and therefore your opponents cannot determine with certainty whether your actions are based on lies or whether they're based on classified information only available to you. By the time it's discovered whether you are based on false or fact, it's too late. You would have accomplished your deception, and the discovered information is largely irrelevant to the situation now at hand. Number 7, spin a good story. It doesn't have to be the truth as long as it's plausible and captures their attention. Feel free to mix lies with truth. It doesn't really matter if you're caught. If they point to the lies, you point to the true parts and blame the lies on faulty information. Use the true parts to justify your actions. Number 8, keep the momentum going no matter what. If they discover a part of your deception, deny their explanations and keep going on with what you're doing. They're unlikely to uncover all your trickery for quite some time, and the momentum of events will act as misdirection from what's already been exposed. Number 9, restrict their freedom. First, take care of steps 4 and 5, and then tighten the screws on legal rights. Circumvent the existing legal and justice systems. Tell people that you have all the information. Number 10, the last one. Always keep a few aces up your sleeve. Like the audience at a magic show, many of us willingly suspend our disbeliefs and accept the illusions, even the poorly executed ones. And if we're somewhat sceptical of the performance, it's still hard to look away from such vigorous, audacious spectacle. Perhaps it's only through letting ourselves be deceived, through taking sides and falling into line in order to soothe our fears, that our consciences can accept the actions carried out in our society's name.
In 2003, almost word for word, that's what happened to us. We were approached by a land agent for a start, and who then put us in contact with a gentleman by the name of Ray Parker, who started to initially said we were interested in investing in your business, and are you interested investors? Well, we're just going to Australia, and of course we were. I could see the need there to have people to invest in business. We were ripe for the picking, and so then I spent, I don't know how many hours on the phone, hundreds of hours on the phone, talking to Ray Parker. He questioned me. He says, "What are your aspirations? Where you want to go? What do you want to do? What are you interested in?" It was like I was totally examined, and then he said, "Well, we are interested in investing in your business. As a matter of fact, I have somebody who's interested in investing in your business. He has already got milk, A2 milk, and has already got some other products that free-range eggs that would sit very nicely, and it would help to get into the supermarkets. In the wings, he said there was other people like Norgate who's having a little bit of a problem with cancer of the throat or something, but he certainly may come along later on. And so it was Howard Patterson initially that was doing it. We saw Howard on the Friday for 2 hours. He flew off to Fiji on Saturday, and he was dead on Tuesday. And then they came back in with another group of people. They came back in with Murray Flett, Ray Parker, Dougal Rillstone, Dave Clark, Bernie O'Donnell, Peter Dodds, and Chris Alps. After Howard died, they put together this group that was going to take over the running of it. You know, looking at how they work. So there's no doubt in my mind that there was an intention to deceive and to gain control of their business, and that is based on the behaviour since. You know, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. So if somebody's going to deceive and cheat, well then they'll try and deceive and cheat and try and get now the way they do it is using legal documents. If we hadn't signed any documents, we wouldn't be in the difficulty we're now. And because those documents, if you break the agreements, can then be enforced through the courts, they can then go for an order to make you do what you said you're going to do. And so then, if you disobey the order, it's not them you're disobeying; it's the court. So what they're able to do, these people, is to get the full force of the law behind the agreements that they get you to agree to. Now the whole story, I'm not going to explain the whole story of what happened to us, but really what happened was, piece by piece, what Kay just read out, is that we were deceived. And within 6 months they started to threaten us. We didn't know what was going to happen. We'd just signed up, got the business going, and the real estate agent came back to us and said, look out for these bastards, they'll turn around and sue you. I've just sold the kayak company in Nelson to them, and they turned around and they made threats and they sued them. They lost, but he said look out for them. That was confirmed later by other people. Other solicitors have confirmed that to me, that their behaviour is such. So we ended up in a situation where we were locked in, and within 6 months we had been told that we were going to be sued for whatever. It was just you know, some hidden thing that never ever specified. Nothing was ever specified. We became terrified. We for 3 years and our legal advice was that, well, you don't want to pick a fight with these guys. I believe there's instances for 5 years where these guys have been fighting in the law, and they if you win, they take an appeal, and then they take an appeal on the appeal, and then they won't turn up, and all sorts of things. And I do believe there's a case in down south now where that's been operating for around about 5 years, and that there is an element here of that has been described to me as white collar criminals, and it needs to be exposed. And it will be exposed. The newspapers are doing articles on it, but it's left us in a position now after 4 years where Kay and I are in the receipt of a means tested pension. We have an income of $406 a week. We've lost our over $4 million worth of farms. And we've lost our business. They wrote off our share in ANATHOTH. They took money out of my bank account, my own personal overdraft account without my authority. They did all sorts of things. They used intimidation and threats against us over the whole period of 4 years. And it wasn't until November last year that I decided that we'd lost everything. We knew we'd lost everything, and that's it. So you're going to fight back. But you see, I'm in a position now where I have restraints of trade that I've agreed to. And I'm not out of that. That restraint of trade doesn't expire. It was for 3 years. I'm supposed to be out of it, but then they threatened and withheld money from us so that we couldn't pay our mortgages or anything. So we had to extend it for another year, and so that actually is in. So we had to sign the document. That's what it was like all the way through, and so now we have a restraint of trade that expires at the end of September. So I can't tell you even that I'm going to go back into making jam again. I can't even indicate that that I'm going to set up a new brand of Pope Jam and put it on the market. I can't even start to do anything that to make a new pot or do anything like that that is moving towards going into business again, and so I've just got to watch as my farms are sold and as we end up with nothing. And I can't give any indication whatsoever because of the restraint of trade that I'm going to go back into business again. And that these guys have got the market free to themselves until the end of September. I had some agreements where I didn't sign any documents. One was with Stanmore Horticulture. They manufactured jam for me, and for 10 years we never had a signed agreement. They had some issues that they raised. They said, "Oh well, we'll go and manufacture for somebody else." And I thought, "Well, that's all right. You try them." They tried manufacturing for Dalmain, sorry, and they found out that they didn't pay their bills and didn't pay their accounts on time and all sorts of other things, and the product didn't sell anyway. So therefore they stopped doing it. So that's the marketplace, and the marketplace works very well. It's worked very well for me. It is a safe and secure place. If you go to a guy and you say, "Hey, well, look, we'll negotiate on this," and they have good legal minds, or they have these documents, or they have information that you don't have, and they're able to get you to agree to something, well then, definitely we didn't have. Our lawyer was from Dunedin and knew these guys, and he said, yeah, right, they're good guys, honest, straightforward. Yeah, tell me about it. Honest. The first thing that Murray Fleck said to the staff in the first board meeting that they had was that you go to your suppliers and tell them that you want 90 days credit. Now, I'd built the business on paying our bills on time and doing everything right, making sure everybody get a fair share, and that the farmers and everybody that we dealt with were that's why it was so popular, because everybody got a fair slice of the cake. Murray Fleck directed the staff in the board meeting to go to the suppliers and tell them that they wanted 90 days credit. Why? Because they wouldn't provide working capital for the business. And he said to them, well, if they say, well, no, we don't give you 90 days credit, well, tell them, well, if you don't give it to us, we'll go to somebody who will. And so that, tells it all. A lot of them told them go, and I can't tell you that I can tell you that I've spoken to those people. I had a party in their office just about when I spoke to them, but I can't tell you why. I'll tell you about that after the end of September. But anyway, that's what happened to us. That's where we are, and I have to watch where my farms are being sold now. I've got nothing, and I can't even indicate that I'm going to go that I'm going back into business. I can go back into business. That's the state of the law. And as I was saying, that I have dealt with people with no agreements in place, and it works much better, because you have to foster goodwill between people. I've bought raspberries from Canada. 60 tons of raspberries from Canada. That's worth a lot of money. I phoned the guy. Doug, oh right, you got any raspberries? Well, yeah, we have got some. How much? Well, they're about this price. We'll sell them to you for this price. Okay, and the shopping's this much. Well, I'll just jot it down in an email and send it over to you. Sends me an email. So I said, right, that's good. Send it in container lots every month or whenever like that. So we get it. Yeah, that's fine. That's good. That's the price. Sent the email back saying to him, yeah, thanks, Doug. Send the first shipment so and so when you want paid, well, you pay for it when it arrives here. So as the containers arrived in Nelson, we transferred the money through to pay for it, right? And we got 60 tonne. We got, I don't know how many containers that is. That's a lot of containers. 5 containers, and so excellent. Next time we want a product, we just ring them up again and say, hey, what's your price? The chairman, Ed Johnson of ANATHOTH, who was appointed, and also the supposed independent board member, Hugh Perrott, who was given, I was supposed to nominate, but I was told to nominate him by Ray Parker. As soon as I said, well, these guys are threatening to sue me and everything, they disappeared like rats at the drain pipe. And so, you know, I have no doubt that these people were there to con me and to gain my confidence, and so that they could get control of the company, which they did, write off my share, which they did, and I've got no money out of it. So, as I said, I'm living on a means-tested income, and I get $406